It's Week 10 across the state of Texas. And live from Klein Memorial Stadium in Klein, Texas, it's the Legacy Sports Network Game of the Week from District 13-5A. The 8-1 Atascocita Eagles take on the 4-5 Klein Collins Tigers. Good evening, everybody. Alongside Jay Darneal and our entire crew, I'm Michael Silvers. Delighted to have you with us. For the Atascocita Eagles, they know where they're going to be next week. Saturday afternoon, Moorhead Stadium in Conroe, and a by-district round date with the Lufkin Panthers. For Klein Collins, even with a win tonight marks the end of their season. For the first time since Drew Svoboda took over the team in 2008, they will miss the postseason and we'll be looking forward to 2014. And Jay, let's first start with the Atascocita Eagles. Talking with Craig Stump before we came on the air, he's playing everybody. No time to rest anybody.
Yeah, like you said, during the pregame, this is not the NFL. These kids are going to get out there and they're going to play the entire game. And I love to see that because, they're playing the Lufkin Panthers. Like you said, they better be ready for a dogfight in that ball game, and they're going to have to play this whole game like we're talking about right now to get ready for that. And it's a perfect timing, too. Klein Collins, they're 4-5, but they're going to present a lot of troubles for them. They have a lot of athleticism, as does Lufkin. So I think this is going to be a big test for them, and Coach Stump wants to see how his team does for 4 quarters.
And quarterback Greg Campbell has helped lead this team to that 8-1 record, over 2,700 yards of total offense.
This guy is crazy. Unbelievable. He put up some good numbers last year. Everyone said, hey, Atascocita can throw around the ball a little bit, but wow, they came out this season, and looking at the stats there, it is just simply amazing what they have done so far this year.
Yeah, considering that the 3,753 yards of total offense, the 2,700 belonging to Greg Campbell. The injury bug hit Klein Collins at some critical positions this season. A shame that they're 4-5, a shame they're not going to make the postseason, but still plenty to play for. In fact, a 500 record seems pretty nice right about now.
Yeah, you're exactly right. When you don't have a lot to play for, sometimes, with 2 or 3 wins on the season, it's not a big deal. But you're right, exactly on the money there with that 500. They do not want to be under 500 for the year. They want to hit that 500 mark. It is really important for them.
Atascocita will get the ball to start tonight's game, and we'll get an early look at Greg Campbell. Senior quarterback has offers on the table from Colorado State and Louisiana Monroe.
And Michael, like you say, those schools, like, they're not a big deal, but tell you what, you never know. Nowadays, you get the right kid in a program, and even small schools like that can up in the big time guys.
Kicker for Klein Collins is Daniel Gomez. And we are underway from Klein Memorial Stadium as the kickoff rolls into the end zone. And Greg Campbell and company will start on their own 25-yard line as we take a look at some of the team leaders for Atascocita. We mentioned Campbell. Look at Jamarcus Jones and Taylor Stump with over 800 yards receiving this season.
Yeah, unbelievable. This Taylor Stump kid is just a terrific wideout. I believe he played quarterback the younger years, so he understands the game. Obviously, his dad a coach. He just understands where he needs to be on the field so that Campbell has a clear vision to get him the football.
From the pistol, 3 receivers to the top of your screen. And Klein Collins with early flags. Our referee tonight is Duffy Mapes.
That's certainly not the start that Klein Collins defense wanted right there. 5 free yards off the bat.
Penalties weren't an issue for Klein Collins last week in their loss to Klein. 3 penalties, 15 yards. 1st and 5 for the Eagles. Campbell on the option, pitches it out, and dropping it, Jamarcus Jones, a loose ball. Klein Collins have recovered on the game's opening play.
Tell you what, Watts did a terrific job from that outside linebacker spot. He saw that not a zone read, but the option coming at him. Watch him right here. Watts picks up the quarterback, makes him make the quick decision. It forced a bad pitch over to the tailback, wasn't ready for the ball. Klein Collins jumps on it.
Josh Fry on the recovery, and the Tigers will begin from the Eagle 26-yard line. Quarterback is Grady Rupp, And a handoff straight ahead for Justin Pyatt to the 22-yard line, a 4-yard run.
Justin Pratt, hey, this kid's only a sophomore. He is just a little bowling ball. He was injured early in the year. As a freshman, he was injured a lot too, but he has really come on strong, and he's going to be a big part of this Tiger offense in the future.
Rupp inserted at the quarterback's position in week 5 in a win over Klein Forest, and on the jet sweep, here's Zerial Kirkwood. Kirkwood down to the 19-yard line. 3 more yards for Kirkwood. As we look at the Klein Collins offense, notice none of the names like Jordan Thomas and Kevin Farmer in the starting lineup, but that's not to suggest that they won't be playing on the offensive side of the ball tonight.
Yeah, even without those guys offensively, I think the Tigers are going to have enough power offensively to score some points, and that's just going to help out that defensive backfield a lot with Atascocita throwing the ball.
On 3rd down, option and a pitch out with room to run along the sideline as Justin Pratt will get first down yardage to the 13 in Atascocita territory, picking up 6 on 3rd down.
Terrific block there by the fullback. Let's watch it. There he is, 47. Watch him coming around. First man he sees that can make the play, go dive at his knees, get him out of the play. Great block up front.
Tackle made by Jay Edwards, a senior strong safety. First down and 10 for the Tigers from Atascocita's 13-yard line. Rupp will throw, complete to Kirkwood, this side. Maybe a yard down to the 12-yard line. Again, Edwards in on the stop for Atascocita.
That's nice when you get a little transfer in like that. Kirkwood has been a nice addition to this offense.
Atascocita's defense this season has allowed an average of 333.33 yards per game. And we've already mentioned Jay Edwards twice. Second down and 9 for the Tigers. Shotgun for Rupp. And he hands it off to Kirkwood. Kirkwood looking to turn the corner, and he barely does. A good diving stop on the far side of the field, stopping Kirkwood at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, you've got to block that better. You cannot let a white hat come across you if you're a blocker there for the Klein Collins Tigers offensively, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to make the play there. You've got to pick him up. You know, yeah, they want to win the game, but boy, last game of the year, you think it's 4-down territory already down here?
I believe so.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose?
Yep.
3rd down and 7 from the Eagle 11. Pump fake and a handoff. Pratt nowhere to go. Well scouted by the Eagle defense.
Well, that's going to make it tough, though. 4th and 8. You might want to kick it here. If they had gotten at least half of it, I'd say they might go for it there in that situation.
Mike Jones in on the stop.
As you see, the little draw right there to Pratt. Grady Rupp did a nice job to sell it, but once again, it's blockers coming through untouched, and they're going to make the play.
Daniel Gomez out to attempt a 28-yard field goal.
He's only missed 1 on the season.
Kick on the way. And it is good from 28 yards out. 8:45 remaining in the first quarter. Klein Collins capitalized on the Atascocita fumble. They have a 3-0 lead.
I think I have the window seat.
You better double check that, my friend.
Don't think we don't know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Aaron Rodgers.
No, that's not it. You're that State Farm discount double check guy.
Discount double check. Thanks to the hundreds you saved us, we could upgrade the grill class.
Grill class?
Your tongs are in your seat back.
Save with the discount double check today. Get to a better state. State Farm.
28-yard field goal by Daniel Gomez, capping off a 6-play, 15-yard drive. And the Atascocita fumble on their first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, that's pretty much the worst thing that could have happened for Atascocita there. I kind of expected some short, quick passes to get the quarterback Campbell going early on, but you saw a little option play there, a little bit surprising, and it backfired on him. You know, talking about Grady Rupp, the Klein Collins quarterback, you mentioned his first start was week 5. and Michael, not only was it week 5, it was against Klein Forest, a rival, homecoming week. This kid's first varsity game ever, varsity snap ever, is a homecoming game, and he goes and throws for 300 yards. Good story.
Edwards will take the kickoff from the 1. Edwards taken down at the 10 on special teams, leading the way for Klein Collins. Jarvis Hogan and Kevin Farmer, and getting back to Rupp as he took over in week 5, as you mentioned. 5'6" at best. Might be small in stature, but plenty of heart to compensate for it.
That's right, but is that heart going to be enough to to score enough points against this Atascocita offense? That first drive didn't go the way they'd like, but I guarantee they'll put some points on the board here.
Take 2 for this offense. And Campbell will hand it off on first down. And again, this Klein Collins defense trying to make their impression felt early. Jamarcus Jones came in with over 700 yards on the ground this season and 6 touchdowns. Maybe loses a yard on that first down play.
You've got to get the football into number 17's hands right here. That's Stump, the receiver. Got to find a way to get it to him.
And Campbell will pass left and complete to Trey Hamilton. Hamilton into the open field across the 30 to the 34-yard line, 23 yards on the pickup.
Or 11, that might work too. Big play right there, just a quick little screen pass. That's what they need to do. That play right there, all that was just a pass, but it was just an extension of the running game.
Campbell came in completing 61.5% of his passes, 1,771 yards, 21 touchdowns to 7 interceptions this year. On first down and 10, a handoff, and Jones is chopped down in the backfield. Coming in to make the play, Ernest Watts.
Yeah. And this is a youngster too. This Klein Collins team has a lot of young kids. The future definitely looks bright for them, even though they're at 4 and 5 right now.
Watts just a sophomore, 2 more years on the club. On second down and 12, Campbell on a rollout, throws, and it is complete, hauled down. J.J. Gibson into Collins territory at the 44.
Well, it doesn't get more open than that right there. Webster, the safety, looked like they were playing a cover 2. See if we can tell, not too zoomed in right there, but I believe it was a cover 2. You got to get off the hash marks right there, because in high school the hash marks are a little bit closer towards the middle of the field. You've got to get yourself out there when you see the open man.
Another 23 yards, this time on another pass play, and there's a play fake. Campbell calls his own number, runs out of bounds just inside the 40-yard line.
I think you mentioned Jordan Thomas earlier. He's one of the best receivers in the district, played quarterback in the district earlier on, but this guy is a lockdown corner, no question about it. I'm a little bit surprised that they don't have him on number 17 straight up all the time.
940 rushing yards on 142 carries for Campbell, coming in 11 touchdowns. He's accounted for 32 Atascocita touchdowns this year. On second down and 7, he fires deep and overthrows the intended target, Trey Hamilton.
Yeah, Webster, the safety, did a lot better of a job right there. I believe that was a cover 2 again, and this time he got off the hash, went over there towards the boundary where the open man was. Nice job there that kind of forced an errant throw from Campbell. Still, 17 hadn't touched a football. I'd find a way to get it in his hands.
Third down and long for the Eagles from the Collins 40-yard line. Campbell fires, and that is pulled in inside the 30-yard line. That is Taylor Stump, his first catch of the night. That's his 48th reception of the season. Had 804 yards receiving coming in and a dozen touchdowns.
Watch this play. He knows where the sticks are, runs just past them because he knows when he comes back, he's going to have to come back towards that football and give up a little ground. Great job. Good catch there.
7th play of the drive, third down converted on a 17-yard play. And Quan Shorts on the receiving end of that Campbell pass, down inside the 20 to the 19.
Boy, nice left-handed, one-handed snag there on the little screen route. Great catch by Shorts. Very impressive. They have a lot of very good receivers.
Campbell has hit 4 different receivers in this series. 6:10 remaining, 3-0 Klein Collins. Campbell on the play fake, waggles to his right, throws to the end zone, complete for the touchdown.
What great execution. It looked like he was going to run a little hitch route. I believe that was not orchestrated. Wasn't supposed to do that, but he saw the man on him, so he kind of slipped on past him. Campbell still rolling out, saw him wide open in the end zone, and threw a perfect strike for the touchdown.
J.J. Gibson on the receiving end of the touchdown catch. On that pass, that's his second touchdown of the season.
Gotta love a little swinging gait, Michael.
Don't see it too often, do you? Brandon Cotton for the point after. And it is good. 6:02 remaining here in the first quarter. A 7-3 Atascocita lead. And we'll return to Klein Memorial Stadium in just a moment.
Time waits for no one. And those who look only to their past are rarely ready for their future. Never underestimate our ability, because after all, we are Texans.
Well, after Atascocita fumbled on their first play from scrimmage, Klein Collins made him pay with a field goal. They go 7 plays, 90 yards, and a 19-yard touchdown pass from Campbell to Gibson, and take their first lead of the evening at 7-3. 6:02 left to play in the first quarter, and the Eagles have the advantage.
Yeah, after that first play fumble, they really came on strong and showed you what they're all about offensively on that drive right there. That's pretty much what they're going to do all game long.
High pooch kick. And it goes out of bounds off of Miles White. It's a decent field position for Klein Collins as they begin their second offensive series under quarterback Grady Rupp.
Well, they threw the flag there.
Unless it didn't go off of White.
Oh, okay. See, here's what happened. The head official did not think that I believe that was Webster over there in the corner. He didn't think that Webster touched it and it went out of bounds. But indeed, he did touch it, so it's going to be down right there. Otherwise, it would have moved up from that spot if he had not touched it and gone straight out of bounds.
So the Tigers will scrimmage from their own 29-yard line. Ryan Kozar splits out to the bottom of your screen and part of a 3-receiver package.
Kozar missed a lot of time this year, too, with a broken wrist.
It's been a lose one, win one trend all season for the Klein Collins Tigers, and if the trend holds true tonight, well, they'll result in a 500 record. But it's a tough one. And Atascocita's only blemish is to who's going to be the district champion in 13-5A, the Westfield Mustangs.
Yeah. Nobody thought that that Atascocita would go 9-1. This is shocking and very, very impressive. They've earned it, by the way. No taking it away from them. They have earned that 9-1 record.
Penalty on the kickoff results in a 5-yard penalty, and the Tigers will now start from their own 34. And this is an Atascocita program that hasn't seen the playoffs since 2009 when they were ousted in the area round by Katy 45-7. Rupp turns and hands it off. Pratt looking for a hole, and he's got one over the 40. And a first down to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, you saw a little flash of brilliance right there by the sophomore. Nice job. Quick little moves like Barry Sanders, stays low to the ground. Watch it one more time there. Makes a couple of guys miss.
Coming back to wrap them up, linebacker Vincent Wade, a senior. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Back on the ground to Pratt, and this time he's got nowhere to go. He'll have to eat it.
Yeah, that's a tough spot for a youngster right there. You know, probably the best thing once you see that you're absolutely surrounded on both sides is to just lower that head and get as much as you can back, going straight north and south, because once you go east and west, you're just going to lose ground.
Dominic Phillips leading the way defensively for the Eagles.
You know, I was kind of talking with a former coach from this district. Michael, there's nobody that really stands out in this district anymore. There's no, Herman Mitchell, the linebacker at Westfield, the defensive guy. Shane Williams, he's off at Boise State now doing his thing. There's no real guy that you say, wow, that guy is a can't-miss D1 prospect there. I mean, Jordan Thomas, yeah, he makes good plays and everything, but his district just lacks the muster that they used to have.
But I'm pretty sure it'll come back sooner or later.
Oh, it will. It's in cycles.
On the delay on 2nd down and long. New back in the game is Javon Richardson. Richardson almost back to the original line of scrimmage. They'll mark him a yard shy of that original line of scrimmage. So 3rd down and 11 upcoming for Klein Collins.
Yeah, I love that rollout draw right there. Rupp fakes like he's rolling out to the left. That wraparound draw. That usually works when you don't run it a lot. It really catches that defense off guard. The defensive lineman got caught there moving to the right, and the play came back left.
Butler to the top of your screen. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen on 3rd down and 11. Shotgun for Rupp. Slings it against his body out of the reach of a leaping Zuriel Kirkwood. 4th down for the Tigers, and they'll punt it away.
Yeah, like we talked about in that first series, if it's 4th and 4 or less, anywhere near that 50-yard and in, I think the Tigers are going to start going for it. But this situation, 4th and 11 on your own 43-yard line, that's just stupid to go for it at that point.
Colin Lester to punt it away. Jay Edwards stands at his own 25-yard line. Good kick. Edwards lets it bounce. And it'll be down at the 23-yard line. 44-yard punt. Let's take a look at the District 13 5A standings. As we enter this final weekend of the regular season, you'll see who's already clinched a playoff spot, and those are the top 3 teams: Westfield, Atascocita, and Klein. Kingwood, they're playing spring tonight. We'll keep tabs on that. A win and they're in. Klein Oak has to win and hope for a Kingwood loss tonight in order to leapfrog the Mustangs and into the postseason.
Yeah, early on you said, hey, Kingwood looks good. They're going to get the 2 seed. Klein Oak was looking really good. They were hot for a while, but it just comes down to those tiebreakers. Kingwood beat Klein Oak in a tight game, and that's what's going to keep Klein Oak out of it probably.
Atascocita will begin on their own 24-yard line. Here's Jamarcus Jones, ridden out of bounds by Christian Snow. Short of the 30-yard line. Mark him out of bounds at the 26 for about a 3-yard play.
Snow's another guy, Michael, that's good banged up this year and last. Has played in less than half the games, I believe. And we haven't even mentioned Frankie Griffin, the safety. Hurt leg, he's out for the year.
On 2nd down, Campbell decides to tuck and run. He's got a 1st down and more to about the 45-yard line. 18 yards on the pickup for the quarterback, Greg Campbell, and a 1st down for the Eagles.
Wow, when you have a quarterback like Campbell who can sit back there and pick you apart with his arm, and then when everyone's covered, the defense breaks down and you can run for a 1st down. Terrific athlete. That just makes the offense run so much smoother.
1st down, complete into Klein Collins territory on the pass reception. Trey Hamilton close to another 1st down, and it looks like they have it on a 10-yard pass play.
Michael, I'll have to double check my sources here, but I'm hearing 14-0 Spring.
That's the 6th 1st down for Atascocita. 2nd catch for Hamilton. And on 1st down and 10, the Eagles will scrimmage from the Tiger 46. Hand off Jamarcus Jones, and he runs into Casey Massey, senior inside linebacker, right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Massey, he is a terrific athlete. About 4.5 speed, strong as all get out. He's a solid linebacker, inside or outside, in this 3-4 defense.
6 seniors, 5 juniors in the starting offense for Atascocita. 8 seniors, 2 juniors, and a sophomore for Klein Collins. Campbell's in trouble, but he keeps his balance, and then he is tackled from behind at the line of scrimmage. Josh Fry comes together from his defensive end spot, and it is 3rd down and long.
That was a very impressive 0-yard run right there by Campbell. Got away from a couple of defenders, rolled out to his right, and fought to get back to the line of scrimmage. Good job by Campbell.
Campbell threw for 222 yards, 3 touchdowns last week, 150 rushing yards and a pair of touchdowns in the Eagles' 45-17 win over Decaney, who were 2 years removed from a state championship.
That's what happens when you lose Trey Williams.
3rd down and 9, no kidding. Campbell out of the shotgun. Now will run and will be brought down by Casey Massey at the Tiger 43.
Yeah, there's not many linebackers that can chase down a quarterback like Campbell, but like I said, with 4 or 5 speed, that's going to get it done right there from behind. Saw everyone was covered, decided to take off. Massey's right there to wrap him up.
That's one of the things that we heard Craig Stump tell us down on the field before we came on the air. Something that Campbell needs to improve on, decision making. Made a good decision there, but he comes up short, but they'll go for it on 4th. Gibson in motion.
That's a false start on Stump, the receiver. Left just a split second early right there. I'm sure you saw it on the screen even. Definitely noticeable right in front of the official. They're not going to miss that one. That's got to change your mind now. 4th and over 10. Now I don't see a punter coming out unless.
Well, maybe it's the same line of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, Klein Collins, they're going to go for it because what do they have to lose? The same can be said for Atascocita. A win or a loss doesn't affect what they're going to do next week. They're still playing Lufkin on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's not like they're going for that perfect record. 9-1, 8-2. They're both terrific years.
4th down and 12. Campbell guns it, and it is picked off. Jordan Thomas, the Northwestern Wildcat commit, takes it back to the Klein Collins 41. His first interception of the season.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, he can play quarterback, he can play receiver, but you know what? That's why he's going to Northwestern right there, because he is a shutdown corner, and you see why right there, going up at its highest point, getting that football and picking it off for his team. He's a turnover machine.
Very smart youngster to go to Northwestern. That's not an easy school to get into.
No question.
Tigers take over on their own 41 with 90 seconds to go and a 7-3 deficit. Pratt takes it up the middle to the 45. 4-yard carry for Pratt.
Yeah, you see this play a lot now, even in the NFL. You see that little jet sweep motion, faking it there and then giving it to the back right up the middle. It's almost like a triple threat there. You can give it to the jet motion, to the tailback, or the quarterback can keep it himself.
Pratt had 159 yards on 16 carries and a 48-yard touchdown last week against Klein. Also threw a 75-yard touchdown pass to Jordan Thomas. This time he'll lose a pair back to the 43.
Boy, I'm not sure. I can watch the replay here, but I don't think 37 was touched. Bursting through, yeah, you see 77 there. Utsi he couldn't push him down that line enough. The defender got just half a step on Utsi. And once you do that, when they're trying to block you down, you can't do it. Good play.
3rd down and 8 from the 43. Rupp going through his progressions. Now will run to his left. Loft one, and that one is almost intercepted with a flag flying at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be an illegal man downfield. Looked like 78 was down the field there, about 4 yards.
Josh Marquette.
Yep, there's the call. It's tough, you know, when the quarterback rolls out and you know he has a threat to run it too.
Another look.
Yeah, clear as day right there, yeah. There's 5 yards down the field. Oh, and there I missed the other one. There was another one about 10 yards down the field.
Pick your poison.
Yeah.
Lester to punt it away. And he punts it away from Edwards and gets a fantastic bounce inside the 10. Down to the 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he didn't move to catch that football. That's just an easy, fair catch right there.
52 yards, and the Eagles are pinned back inside their own 5.
Just less than 10 yards away from him. To his left, he was on the perfect line for it. In that play, you got to shift over and catch the football. Cannot let that bounce like that. Way too much space behind you for it to roll, and the other team could down it like they did right there. Put you in a bad spot.
3 seconds on the clock, 7-3 Atascocita. Final play of the first quarter.
Got another update with 4:39 in the first quarter. It is the Spring Lions 14, Kingwood Mustangs 7.
On the delay. Handoff and a fumble. And the Tigers scoop it up at the 11-yard line. Isaiah Santos on the recovery. Jay Edwards coughed it up, and that brings us to the conclusion of the first quarter as we take another look at the closing play of the first 12 minutes.
That's the only way that Atascocita is going to get beat tonight, is if they shoot themselves in the foot like that right there. 2 turnovers already.
Second quarter on the other side at 7-3 Eagles.
Did I get pneumonia?
Break my arm.
Need to know if my pain is something more.
I know I can trust Neighbors Emergency Center to save me.
They save my time.
They'll save me from missing the championship.
They'll save me from missing my meeting.
They'll save me from missing the chance to walk her down the aisle someday.
They save me. He saves me.
You save me.
Neighbors Emergency Center saves lives.
Neighbors Emergency Center. Care that counts. Experience that matters.
Start of the second quarter. And it is first down and 10 after the fumble by Atascocita, the second time they've coughed it up tonight. And great starting field position for the Tigers as they now move from right to left. Rupp on a keeper on first down, gets pulled back from behind at the 10.
Oh boy, even from up here, that sure looked like a horse collar to me. Anxious to see that replay. I thought that was a no question horse collar.
Rupp's not a quarterback that's going to run the ball a lot, only 105 yards on 37 carries and 5 touchdowns this season. But I agree with you. It looked like he was pulled back from the shoulder pads. Three receiver package on second down from the 10. Man in motion and a handoff, stretching it along the left side down to the 10. And in on the run was Javon Richardson, sophomore, with no gain on the play. Jones on the tackle for Atascocita, third down and long.
Yeah, I'd keep pounding the rock with 32, the bowling ball Pratt right here. See what you get, and then maybe think about going for it on fourth. You don't want to throw a pass here, most likely, and then it be incomplete, and then force yourself into kicking the field goal.
Cameron Green checks into the lineup as a fourth receiver. Rupp on third down throws, and that is through the hands of Ryan Kozar. Might have been hearing the footsteps from an oncoming Dominic Phillips, but nonetheless, it's fourth down after the incomplete pass.
Yeah, now here in this spot, it looks like they're going to go for it, but boy, you sure would like to have at least 3 or 4 there, which I think they could have got with Pratt in between the tackles. Now they bring out big 99. They're going to get the 3.
It'll come from the hold of the quarterback, Rupp. This is a 27-yard attempt. Gomez hit from 28 back in the first quarter, and he'll hit from a yard closer.
They've had multiple terrific scoring opportunities and have only come away with 6 points. They're going to have to put the ball in the end zone because of this Atascocita team. They're going to continue putting big points on the board, and Collins cannot win this game just by kicking field goals. They're going to have to make a big play.
27-yard field goal, 4 plays, only a yard on the drive after another Atascocita fumble. And the Tigers climb within 1. And if you're Atascocita and you're a fan of Atascocita, you're hoping you don't see these fumbles next week.
Yeah.
It's okay in the final game of the regular season. Well, it's really not okay, but
yeah,
relatively speaking, you'd rather have them occur now than next week.
Maybe that's why he's playing them now, get those nerves out, and they're thinking about that playoff game.
Atascocita now +3 in their turnover margin this season. They came in having coughed up the ball on fumbles 11 times. Klein Collins came in a -2 in their turnover margin. They are now even with those 2 takeaways. Gomez will kick it off. Edwards has been able to return 1, but he couldn't even muster barely the 10-yard line. 63-degree night with winds blowing from the north at 12 miles per hour. And a pooch kick from Gomez. From the 19, it's Jamarcus Jones. And Jones across the 25 to the 28. The LSN Game of the Week is presented to you by your local State Farm Insurance agent, Earl Thompson. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. 1st and 10 for Atascocita as they'll begin from their own 28.
I would expect the first play not to be a run right here. Got to start throwing the ball on 1st down after the last 2 episodes.
Campbell has hit 4 straight, and he is connected with 4 different receivers. And he connects with Quan Shorts for the 2nd time tonight. And Shorts over the 35, refusing to go down. Forward progress will be stopped at the 36.
That's just a simple little screen play. There's 2 defenders over there, 1 receiver out wide to block. There just should not, there's no excuse to have that much room once he catches the football. There should be a man right on top of him, if not just within 2 yards. Nobody was there.
2nd down and 2. Play fake. Campbell calls his own number with room to run along the left side. 1st down, out of bounds at the 48-yard line. 12-yard scamper for the senior quarterback. And an Atascocita 1st down.
And that's just inexperience at linebacker by Watts, number 5 there on that play. He got sucked in too far, didn't realize that Campbell was that fast. Watch it again right here. You'll see 5 jetting in right there, and then he couldn't get to the outside quick enough, went too far upfield, allowed Campbell to get to the edge.
1st and 10. Campbell fires it, complete. Gibson loses his footing at the 25-yard line. Just the 26. Out of position was Quintrell Webster.
Yeah, another play wide open. There was not a defender within 5 yards of the receiver there. That's way too easy.
$55 yards on 2 receptions for Gibson. Run to the far side of the field, diving forward. Shorts.
JT tried to make the highlight reel right there, and he's mad at himself because he's smarter than that. Tried to come up with a big hit, but when you make that big hit, you got to wrap up too.
5th play coming up of the drive. Started on the 28-yard line. 2nd down and 6 for the Tigers. Excuse me, for the Eagles. Keeper for Campbell, taken down from behind by Ernest Watts. 2 yards to the 20, and it is 3rd down.
Yeah, Ernest Watts is a terrific sophomore athlete, and he's a great receiver, great slot receiver, can play a little quarterback, running back, and he's showing you he's a pretty darn good linebacker too.
Campbell last week had an 83-yard touchdown run, 2 touchdowns, and 150 yards against Decaney. On 3rd down and 4 from the Tiger 20. Campbell decides to run. He goes nowhere. Solid tackle by Justin Gill leading the way, a junior inside linebacker. And a decision to be made by Craig Stump, the head coach of the Atascocita Eagles here on 4th.
Yeah, you're seeing all these good receivers covered up a lot because of all those moves that we talked about at the beginning. All those offensive players playing defense, they're pretty good corners and safeties.
4th down and 5. Campbell throws, and it's complete in the flats, turning upfield. Taylor Stump for a 1st down at the Tigers' 6-yard line, 15 yards on 4th down.
Oh, he ran that play to perfection. A tight bunch right there with the 2 receivers set. You see him right there. Stump, you'll lose him in the picture there, but he fakes a quick little hitch and then rolls straight to the out route, wide open. Good play.
1st and goal from the Tigers' 6. Stump led all Eagle receivers last week with 6 receptions, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns of 6 and 20 yards. Campbell runs the option left and pitches it out to Jamarcus Jones in a great open field tackle. Jordan Thomas stopping Jones back at the 9 for a loss of 3. And Jones just hasn't been able to get going. -3 yards on 4 carries.
Yeah, and really, honestly, Campbell has not yet to really, create some terrific throws down the field. They've had a couple here and there, but I've been really surprised. This defense has done a great job against this Atascocita throwing offense.
7:10 remaining, 2nd down and goal on the delay. It's Jamarcus Jones, cuts it to the right, takes it down to the 5.
Boy, 3rd and goal from inside the 5-yard line here. Up by 1 point. I don't know. They've really struggled with the running game. I'd probably roll Campbell out here and see what he can do. Give him that run throw option.
9th play of the possession, 3rd and goal from the 5. Campbell looking, and he is sacked from behind on the blind side by Josh Fry.
Yeah, he was just on the edge of that outside the pocket there. You can't sit there for too long. As you know, you always hear that mental clock in the quarterback's head. You've got to get rid of the football quicker than that when sitting in that pocket.
Field goal unit comes out. Brandon Cotton to attempt a 25-yard field goal.
That could be a good thing, because if they had got a couple there and gone for it, might not have got it. They'll get most likely for sure 3 here.
Kick on the way. Slow moving, but good. 6 minutes remaining in the 2nd quarter. Atascocita have extended to a 4-point edge over Klein Collins.
I see a Raising Cane's tailgate in your sights, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you have it in you to tackle that tailgate. To devour enough fresh, never-ever frozen chicken fingers and cane sauce to make tailgate history. Show thirst who's boss with sweet tea and lemonade. Not by the cup, but by the jug. Because this is our house, and today, you eat with the best of them. Raising Cane's, one love. Official sponsor of all things that make game day delicious.
Atascocita has pulled ahead. 10-6 the score with 6 minutes to go on a 25-yard field goal by Brandon Cotton. A drive that went 54 yards, spanning 10 plays. Atascocita with the 10-6 edge. Michael Silvers, Jay Darneal, and our entire LSN crew wrapping up the regular season with a 13-5A affair from Klein Memorial Stadium. Farmer and Winchester back deep to receive. Whether or not the ball gets to him is another thing, and it's a pooch kick. And Farmer's going to take it. It goes through his breadbasket. Tried to pick it up, had to think twice, and then finally dropped on it.
Yeah, he got lucky there. He bobbled it a couple of different times, and a little bit surprised that they even gave the ball anywhere near Kevin Farmer. He's an excellent kickoff return man.
Update from the 2nd quarter from Turner Stadium in Humble. Spring defeating Kingwood at the moment, 21-7. Just what Klein Oak needs.
A little bit surprised, yeah.
Spring's got themselves a very dynamic quarterback themselves, Darius Lee Campbell. 1st down and a handoff. Pratt takes it over the 35 to the 36.
Yeah, he just falls forward. That's what all the good running backs do, to get those extra yards even when they're being tackled.
Pratt, just a sophomore, 3 touchdowns coming into tonight's game, 440 yards rushing. Has 22 on 8 carries here in the first half. It's 2nd down and 5 as we approach 5:20 to play. Pump fake and another handoff. Pratt tries to go up the middle. This time Atascocita have it well scouted.
Yeah, they've tried to run that little draw a couple times. The only one that's worked is really that wraparound draw.
Joseph Salazar making the stop. 3rd down and long. Facing Klein Collins from their own 36. After tonight, Klein Collins will call it a season for 2013. How quickly does Coach Svoboda turn around and get ready for 2014?
Knowing Coach Svoboda, I'd say less than a week, if not a couple of days.
And we've got whistles and flags. Play clock expiring. Seemed like there was a little bit of trouble with Zuriel Kirkwood lining up.
Boy, that's a big play there.
Third penalty here in the first half on Klein Collins.
Trying to put just maybe a couple more up here. Get within maybe one or even take a lead here right before the half would be huge, and that's not the way to get it done.
Tigers last season reached the playoffs on an 8-2 record, lost to the Woodlands right here in this building, 66-42 after defeating the Woodlands the year prior in the same round in Humble. Pass this side of the field, incomplete.
No, we lost to them then too, unfortunately.
Oh, I apologize. I thought they had switched victories.
The Woodlands has had Collins' number here for a while in the playoffs.
The pass falls incomplete through the hands of Kozar. So 4th down, and the punt team will come out for the Tigers.
You know, when you look at the Woodlands record, you know, they have a couple of losses, but man, those losses are to excellent football teams. Dallas Skyline, first game of the year, and then Katy.
Punting it away from Jay Edwards, and another excellent bounce for Colin Lester down to the 23-yard line.
4 minutes and eternity, especially when you have great field position like that.
46 yards on the punt. Another look at the kick from Lester, and almost blocked. Coming in was Vincent Wade. And the Woodlands right now, I think if the season were to have ended today and the playoffs would have started, they would get Klein.
Correct, yes. And that game is going to be Friday, 7 o'clock at Wood Forest.
Klein, after a start against Katy that didn't go their way at Reliance Stadium, as the pass falls incomplete this side, intended for Taylor Stump.
Yeah,
Shane Hallmark's team, wow, just been very impressive after that opening weekend loss.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, the Katy Tigers, they're gonna beat anybody, especially early on in the season, man. They're just always ready to go from the get-go. From the first game, they're blowing people out.
That incomplete pass breaks a streak of 8 straight completions for Campbell. 2nd down, a handoff. Jones will be tackled from behind. Christian Snow in on the stop, but the first one there was Josh Fry, so that brings up 3rd down and a long 8 yards.
Well, you know, besides Campbell running for a couple of first downs, this Atascocita running game with the running backs is just basically non-existent right now.
1 of 4 on 3rd downs, and on 3rd down and 8, this is Campbell, and he will get a 1st down and more. Just jogs out of bounds at the 36-yard line, an 11-yard gain, and a 1st down. Second 3rd down conversion for Atascocita here in the first half.
Yeah, no one's confusing Campbell with Johnny Manziel anytime soon, but boy, when you have just enough speed to get those 1st downs when needed, it's a huge drive continuation keeper saver.
1st down at 10, pass left is complete, and Hamilton stuck at the 40-yard line by Ernest Watts. He waits for reinforcements. They come in the form of Casey Massey, but a 4-yard reception brings up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, this is a big drive here for the Tigers. They need a stop, no question.
Inside 2:50 to play in the first half. Handoff Jones. Head up with Christian Snow at the 44, and then driven back by the senior linebacker.
That was a big-time collision right there by 2 big-time players. Christian Snow was the newcomer of the year as a sophomore in 13-5A. He's a big, strong linebacker. That was given a very generous spot right there by the side judge.
From the 44, it is 3rd down and 2. Design run for Greg Campbell. Turns it upfield. There's a flag down, probably coming back on a hold.
Yeah, I think it was 65 there out on the edge. Had that defensive end.
Nathan Vaughn.
Clear hold. No question about it. Umpire saw it easily and threw the flag. Good call. That's going to push him back and create a 3rd and long situation here. Yeah, you probably even see it right here. That tackle on the edge. You've got 41. Yep, see, it was 65 got him there.
Isaiah Santos with the hit on Campbell after the flag was thrown. Santos has a few schools looking at him: Fresno State, Nebraska, Sam Houston State, Southeastern Louisiana, and West Virginia.
Yeah, we'll talk about his two brothers here after this play.
3rd down and 12. And Campbell will be forced to run. And Campbell out of bounds, short of the 1st down.
Yeah, Isaiah Santos' brother David Santos, of course, starting as a linebacker for Nebraska. His other brother getting in some nickel packages and a lot of playing time as a freshman at New Mexico State, Ryan Santos.
Gain of 8 yards on third down, but not enough. Punt team out for Atascocita. One hot bounce. Brandon Cotton can't get it away. And for the 3rd time, this time though on downs, it's a turnover by Atascocita, and the Tigers will start in Eagle territory.
Tell you what, I think that punter was just flustered. I think he could have got that ball off even after fumbling it 3 different times. Let's watch it again here. Poor snap, he gets it, mishandles it 1, mishandles it twice, and then he sees that guy coming. He might, if he went off to the right, maybe soccer style, he could have got it off, but.
Tigers will begin on Atascocita's 22-yard line. Rupp on a play fake, goes up the seam, and it's caught for the touchdown by Ryan Kozar.
Terrific, like you said, a seam route, perfectly run by Kozar. Great throw by Grady Rupp. And that's a touchdown they needed.
The Tigers have the lead for the first time tonight, or excuse me, for the 2nd time tonight. They had gone up 3-0 on Atascocita's first fumble, and now on their 3rd turnover, Grady Rupp makes them pay with a 22-yard strike to Kozar. Gomez to tack on the extra point, and he splits the uprights. 1:40 left to play until halftime. Klein Collins out in front, 13-10. Back in a moment.
Here's a crazy idea. What if your bank actually paid you for using your debit card? Let's say 10 cents for every $10 or more debit card purchase. How amazing would that be? We call it Cashback Counts Checking from Community Bank. A free debit card that pays you to use it. Even he's smiling at that. Swipe all you can from your bank. Community Bank of Texas. Bank where you live.
All it took was one play, a 22-yard pass from Grady Rupp to Ryan Kozar for the 2nd time. The Tigers have a 3-point lead in this game as they lead Atascocita 13-10. Eagles with 2 fumbles, a bad snap, back to the punter Brandon Cotton, which resulted in a turnover on downs. Kingwood has climbed back within a touchdown as they trail Spring 21-14. Interesting to note because all Kingwood has to do is win tonight, and tomorrow night's Klein Forest game would be moot from a Panther perspective. Pooch kick from Gomez. And the ball is loose. Perfectly timed hit on the up man, Mike Hughes. And the Tigers have recovered and have it once again in Atascocita territory on the recovery by Miles White.
Wow, unbelievable timing. Perfect timing right here on this hit.
That was Farmer on the hit.
You know, and it wasn't really the hit that got him. It just threw him off just enough so that he wasn't able to catch that ball cleanly.
You were talking about the Santos family. Another family with quite a legacy at Klein Collins is the Goodson family with Michael, Dimitri, and Marcus, although recently in the news for other things not related to football. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Play action pass, and Grady tucks and runs, stays on his feet, good balance, tippy toes out of bounds at the Eagle 29 on an 8-yard run. Good improv from the senior quarterback, the 5'6", Grady Rupp.
Yeah, very nice job there. I was a little bit worried when he gave up a little bit of ground trying to get to the corner. I was thinking maybe just lower the head and get down there, pick up a couple more, but he did a nice job and almost got the first down. Great play by Rupp.
Four receivers in the lineup. In the slot right is Jordan Thomas, out on offense for the first time. And Rupp will go his way over the middle on a crossing pattern down to the 11-yard line for 17 yards on Thomas's first catch of the night.
Yeah, so far the Klein Collins athletes are making plays. The Atascocita Eagles athletes are not, and that's the difference.
Out of the shotgun, Rupp on first down, throws through the hands this time of Zuriel Kirkwood. Thomas came in offensively, combining for over 1,200 yards, 388 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, 587 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns, and he was the starting quarterback and played in the first 4 games, 288 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, completing 57.41% of his passes before Rupp took over.
Yeah, 280 yards in 4 games just obviously is not enough offensively to scare anybody on that defensive side of the football, so you got to switch things up there.
2nd down and 10 from the Eagle 11. Fake on the jet sweep, pump fake by Rupp. Flag on the play. He throws, and that one is caught.
Yep, picked off.
That's number 27, Jace Rumsey, picking that one off. I almost thought it was a fight for the ball, but Rumsey comes away with it for the Eagles. And if this marker is on Klein Collins, the play will stand.
As I heard a long time ago, once you're inside the 20-yard line in the red zone, offensively as a quarterback, you got to be needy, not greedy. And right there, Rupp was a little bit too greedy, trying to squeeze one in. And that's a big, big turnover. To only have 13 offensive points, that's just unacceptable, honestly. Unacceptable to have 13 points when you should have at least 20, minimum of 20.
Rupp's 3rd interception of the season for Rumsey, his 2nd. 64 seconds remaining here in the first half from Klein Memorial Stadium, and Atascocita will take over. Now, they were penalized after the play for personal foul. That'll drop them back to within their own 5. They're actually going to mark the ball at the 2-yard line. This is the 2nd time they have started an offensive possession inside their own 5. Pistol formation in the end zone. 3 receivers in the lineup, 1st down and 10. Campbell hands it off to Jones. Jones maybe musters 1 yard past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that entire play just looked sloppy. I think Campbell turned around the wrong direction. Running back wasn't right on line. This running game, they need to get this squared away, because if you just try to throw in the playoffs and you're not balanced, it's not going to work out to your advantage, I guarantee it.
Klein Collins taking their first timeout with 48 seconds remaining in the half. So Westfield, Atascocita, Klein are the 3 teams we know that are moving on to play next week in the postseason. What chances do you give Westfield, a team that's undefeated right now? This is a team, a Westfield program that's already made it to at least one state championship, a state semifinal the year after, and then there's been years where you think they've got enough to get there, but then they stub their toe along the way.
Well, I tell you what, if they were in Region 3, I think a couple of those times they would have gone as deep as those other postseason runs, at least to the state semifinals. But being in Region 2, it's just honestly a lot tougher. You know, you have to travel further, and you play teams that are much better than, you know, let's be honest, some of those teams within Houston that are not as good.
Westfield would be a Division I team. They have a very large enrollment, even though Decaney fed off of them a little bit when they opened up, much to the chagrin of Corby Meekins. Not much there on that second down play. And another timeout taken by the Tigers.
Yeah,
Jones
I think,
goes nowhere.
Yeah, the Tigers know how important, you know, getting points right now is, and they should be way ahead, and they're only up by 3. They know that if they get the ball back and put a couple more up, it'll make them feel a little bit better going into the half. And when you have number 2 playing a little bit of offense, hey, just throw it up in the air and let that guy go make a play. Which I'm surprised that Atascocita has not done that yet with Taylor Stump. I believe he only has 1 catch so far, and that was the leading 2 catches. I think he was the leading receiver in the district. Very surprised by that. They got to find a way to get him the ball in the second half.
Getting back to Westfield, they'll start off their postseason run against Oak Ridge. And for the War Eagles, that's a great story. Now, nobody's going to give them a chance on Thursday, but nonetheless, what a story. They start off with a victory over Cy Falls. They run undefeated up until halfway through the district before losing to A&M Consolidated. Then they lose to Lufkin, and tomorrow they get the Woodlands.
Yeah, it shows you how weak that district really is.
On third down, Campbell's going to launch one. And it is caught. What a catch by Quan Shorts. Flag is down thrown at the 43.
Yeah, first of all, that's a ball that Shorts has got to hold on to. You had it with both hands.
Oh, he did drop it. My apologies. I thought he hauled it in.
Well, he did, and then he dropped it. It could have been a fumble.
Okay, so he didn't complete the play then.
Yes, correct. And then, yes, that was a clear pass interference against Farmer. So either what they're going to say is pass interference, no catch. So even if he had fumbled the football, it's not like Klein Collins would have got it back because it was indeed pass interference against Kevin Farmer. So that's going to be 15 yards. Well, what do you think? Should high school and college do the spot foul like the NFL does?
No.
I don't
like
think
it
so
the way
either.
it is.
Me too.
But what happens, though, is you take the penalty on a third down, and Atascocita has new life with a first down from their own 18. 13-10, Klein Collins, 30 seconds remaining until halftime. Campbell on a pump fake, just throws that one away.
Yeah, I think they finally saw themselves that they needed to throw the ball up and let a playmaker go get it.
Campbell's 11 of 14 for 159 yards and an interception. He's got a touchdown as well as he threw one to J.J. Gibson. Handoff Jones. Nope, new back in the game, Patrick Taylor getting a chance, but there is a flag down at the 19.
That's going to be an illegal shift against Atascocita, and time is running out on him here.
Taylor, just a sophomore, 112 yards rushing coming in. 3 carries, 54 yards with a 53-yard touchdown in the win over Decaney and some mop-up time last week. Fourth penalty called on the Eagles here in the first half, and they trail by 3. They've turned the ball over 4 times, 3 of which have been takeaways. 1 a turnover on downs on a bad snap back to the punter, Brandon Cotton. That's not playoff winning football, and Craig Stump would be the first to tell you that. Final ticks of the second quarter. Play fake, Campbell on a designed run. Out of bounds over the 20-yard line. And that is the end of the second quarter after a 6-yard run by Greg Campbell. Halftime from Klein Memorial Stadium in Klein, Texas. The Klein Collins Tigers 13, the Atascocita Eagles 10. Halftime right around the corner here on the Legacy Sports Network.
If you're looking for the best selection of crawfish on this side of Louisiana, the Louisiana Crawfish Hut is the place to go. Our seafood selection will make you go home completely satisfied with our dishes, such as our oyster louie and hut platter, not to mention desserts that will cure your sweet tooth craving. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut offers any type of atmosphere you're looking for, whether day or night, 7 days a week with the best service you will find around. Come in and watch your favorite team on any of our 16 TVs. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut, located off Highway 90 in Crosby, offering the best that Louisiana has to offer here in Texas.
Here at halftime, it is 13-10. Klein Collins leading Atascocita in this final game in District 13-5A on this final weekend. It is week 10 across the state of Texas, and down the field, have a look at the Atascocita Eagle Marching Band.
President Devin Sidney, Vice President Haley Tonsberg, Vice President Ashley Davis, Social Chairman Lydia Good, Social Chairman Tiffany Lawrence, and Social Chairman Elizabeth Adore. Officer of the Week, Emily Love. Officer of the Week, Emily King. And Patriot of the Week, Lauren Merriman. Tonight, the Patriots will be performing their military jazz to Runaway Baby. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Pride of the Eagles Military Marching Band. The band is led on the field by drum major Scott Augustine and Kristen Loretta, with senior flag captain Talia Orr and first lieutenant Emily Murphy. Section of the week is the clarinet section. This past weekend, the band competed in the National Association of Military Marching Bands contest at Stephen F. Austin State University and was awarded a Superior Performance First Division Award and was selected as the Outstanding Class 5A Band.
Halftime score over at Humbol's Turner Stadium. Shocker, the Spring Lions 35, the Kingwood Mustangs 21. Still plenty of time in that one, including a whole nother half of football. But Kingwood are in a must-win situation. All they have to do is win, and they're in. If they lose, which right now looks like they're going to lose if they can't come back in the second half, then all Klein Oak would have to do tomorrow night is defeat the Klein Forest Golden Eagles, who have just one District 13 5A victory this season. So we'll keep you abreast of what's going on at Turner Stadium throughout our second half coverage, but for now, enjoy the Klein Collins High School Marching Band.
Now for your halftime entertainment, entering the field are the award-winning Klein Collins Tigerbells. Military officers are Lieutenant Lieutenant Maya Boone, Lieutenant Savannah Lewis, Lieutenant Maggie Morrison, Lieutenant Valerie Maricopa, Lieutenant Major Taylor Berry, Major Hyperic Taken. The social officers are President Madison Flores, Vice President Gabby Munoz, Historian Marissa Kohlmeyer. Spirit Bells of the Week is Ariel Green. Bells of the Week is Claire Murphy. The Bells would like to dedicate this routine to all of their senior Bells. Thank you for all of your hard work and dedication to our team. Now sit back and enjoy the Bells along with teams who hallowed for you. Good luck, Bells. Please welcome the Klein Collins Band. Tonight, the Tiger Band takes you On an adventure through time. Strap in and hold on to your hats as we jump through time with Doctor Who and the Time Lord.
Tonight, we want to take a moment to recognize the Tiger Bells and Tiger Band seniors for their hard work and dedication for the past 4 years. Our seniors are Taylor Berry, accompanied by Zach and Amber Wallace, Chelsea Cooper, accompanied by Miller and Sharon Cooper, Isabella Cummins, accompanied by Mike and Ermelinda Cummins, Angela Fleet, accompanied by Daisy Oliva, Destiny Hamilton, accompanied by Margaret Webster, Takara Kegler, accompanied by Ty Vance Kegler and Latoya Spencer, Michelle Kilcoyne, accompanied by Jim Kilcoyne, Savannah Lewis, accompanied by Lance and Deidre Dunbar, Gabby Munoz, accompanied by Vince and Pat Munoz, Marissa Pullmeyer, accompanied by David and Becky Pullmeyer, Gabby Altamirano, accompanied by Caesar and Anna Altamirano, Miranda Armstrong, accompanied by Marcy Langenberg and Jeff Teeter, Marissa Baumgartner, accompanied by Esther and Pat Reynolds, Molly Beasley, accompanied by Robert and Lisa Beasley, Farrah Benham, accompanied by Diana and Ahmad Benham, Mario and Anacarias. Austin Chen, accompanied by Byron Chen and Melissa Goodwin. Justin Davidson, accompanied by Pat Kelly and Dick Trish. Nikki DeJour, accompanied by Philippe and Juanita DeJour. Raymond Delgado, accompanied by Raymond and LaDawn Delgado. Kate Facemeyer, accompanied by Helene Facemeyer. Zach Garner, accompanied by Kristen Kelly and Darren Garner. Tyler Hansen, accompanied by Kirk and Lee Hansen. Robert Harrington, accompanied by Tom and Shelley Harrington. Danny Hernandez, accompanied by Ernesto and Lourdes Hernandez. Andrew Junin, accompanied by Heather Mack and Dan Junin. Nate Lawrence, accompanied by Trey Lanning and Laurie Payne. Manuel Martinez, accompanied by Manuel and Delia Martinez. Jaden Nicola, accompanied by Brian and Heather Nicola. Brian Pilkington, accompanied by Brian and Jennifer Pilkington. Leah Piper, accompanied by Laura and Jerry Piper. Paul Fless, accompanied by Steve and Linda Fless and Joel and Alan Cusick. Ted Preston, accompanied by Sonny and Gloria Preston. Alexandra Rosca, accompanied by Steve and Paula Rosca. Jessica Reyes, accompanied by Rolando and Celinda Reyes. Chris Salvatore, accompanied by Camille and Doug Salvatore. Xavier Santos, accompanied by Libra Santos. Justin Schiller, accompanied by Donnie and Melissa Schiller. Sam Sherman, accompanied by Jill and Chris Sherman. Iroquois Smallwood, accompanied by Tina and Gary Baldwin. Danielle Thompson, accompanied by Angela and Zach Whitaker, accompanied by Byron and Carla Whitaker. Thank you each and every one. We wish you only the best as you head out into a bigger world. The Klein Collins band was led on the field by drum majors Marissa Baumgartner, Ted Preston, and Stephen Villarreal. Thank you for your continued support to our principal, Mr. Randy Burke, our KISD Director of Fine Arts, Mr. Monty Mass, and the Superintendent of Klein ISD, Dr. Jim Kane. A very special thank you to the parents of our students. You made all this possible.
Back at Klein Memorial Stadium. Prepared to start the third quarter with Klein Collins on top of Atascocita 13-10. Michael Silvers alongside Jay Darneal and our crew as we pop up the first half statistics. And if we had a telestrator, there's two things that I would circle, Jay. I don't know about you, but Atascocita, 3 turnovers. Klein Collins, 13 points off those turnovers.
Yeah, and another thing I look at is 80 total yards. Wow. And
Short fields.
And you have the lead, yeah, short fields. And they haven't even fully capitalized on all those short fields. They only have those 13 points. So basically they had 4 chances, and they only scored 3 of them, and only one of them was a touchdown.
Tigers will get the ball to start the second half. Remember that first possession of the game for Atascocita, they got an offsides penalty called on the Tigers, and then they fumbled the ball, which led to a field goal. Atascocita will give it to Klein Collins to start the second half. An update from Humbles Turner Stadium. It is still halftime with Kingwood trailing Spring 35-21. Farmer and Winchester stand at their own 10-yard line, but it doesn't look like Brandon Cotton is going to do anything but other than pooch it up in the air, and that's what he does. And from the 35, Klein Collins will take it over the 45 to the 46.
Yeah, it looked like Demetrius Legrone on that return there.
Sure was. So your keys to the second half while we have a moment.
For Atascocita, obviously, do not turn the football over. And I don't know if you want to do one of two things. You want to continue pushing that running game and try to get any semblance of running game going whatsoever, or abandon it altogether and just start throwing the heck out of the football.
Grady Rupp and the Tigers will begin on their own 45. Jordan Thomas in motion, gets it on the jet sweep, immediately turns the corner into Eagle territory. Slowed up by J.P. Rodriguez, but a 10-yard run for Jordan Thomas, who's headed to Northwestern University next season.
You see that jet sweep. Klein Collins runs a lot of that. And, boy, that's a big-time threat when you could give the ball to J.T. Jordan Thomas.
You know, when this is your final game, the seniors want to go out on a winning note, and the underclassmen want to help the seniors go out on that winning note. And Jordan Thomas, incomparable, has meant so much to this program over the years he's been on the varsity. Rupp over the middle, he's got a man, and inside the 25 is Cameron Green, the senior, with his 10th catch of the season.
It looked like the same play that they scored the touchdown on, except for instead of Kozar, it was Green up the middle. And Green running that seam route is a lot better because he's just so tall.
22 yards on the pass play, and the 6th first down of the game. This is the 3rd play of the drive, and the Tigers are already in Eagle territory. Quick screen pass complete this side of the field. And Jordan Thomas again making his impression felt here in this series. Not much though on that, but keeping Atascocita thinking about him out there.
Yeah, Andy's done such a great job defensively playing corner. It's going to be interesting to see, can he be out on the field this much offensively and still be so effective as a defensive back as well.
Kozar lines up to the top of your screen, had a touchdown back in the first half of 22 yards. Thomas on the jet sweep. This time he's bottled up.
They're trying to get the ball into playmakers' hands here, obviously. JT's already touched it a few times here.
Salazar leading the way, 2-yard pickup for Thomas, and the first 3rd down of this series for the Tigers, and it'll be 3rd down and 8 from the Atascocita 21.
And once again, 3rd and long. I think you want to run the ball up the middle here. Try to pick up just a few yards. That way you can have an opportunity to go for it on 4th down.
The Tigers were 1 for 7 on 3rd downs back in the first half. Rupp will throw. Sling it over the middle, and it is bobbled but hauled in by Thomas at the 11. That's good enough for a first down on the 3rd down conversion.
What a catch by Jordan Thomas right there. Showing you he can do it all. Kind of bobbled it to himself right there. If they had decided to run, there was a big open hole right there up the middle.
12 yards on the pass play. First drive of the second half. And Thomas lines up to the bottom of your screen. Set in motion by Rupp. Play fake to him, and they give it off to Pratt. Pratt straight up the middle, takes it down a yard to the 10.
Yeah, Thomas has been in, I believe, every single play this drive. And they've used him probably half the time. I wouldn't expect anything different. Somehow he's going to be involved in this play too, I'm sure.
Caught 4 passes last week for 103 yards against Klein. That was a loss, 45-28. 75-yard touchdown pass from Pratt.
Yeah, yeah, a halfback toss.
Option pitch. Thomas lined up as a running back, and he goes untouched into the end zone for the Tiger touchdown.
Yeah, Jordan Thomas is a special athlete, but it just seemed like this season he just wasn't himself. This Jordan Thomas tonight, this is who everybody's accustomed to seeing right here. Burst, his just speed burst, terrific hand-eye coordination on the receiving end, and then just making people miss and finding the end zone like he did right there.
Gomez to give the Collins Tigers a 10-point lead. It's good. 8:45 remaining in the third. It's a 10-point deficit for Atascocita here in Klein.
It's time to go back in time, sharing the merriment of hundreds of live performances, the taste of over 1,000 foods, and the fun of dozens of games and rides. And be sure to enjoy special savings opening weekend, October 12th and 13th. Brought to you by DeMontron Coca-Cola. Huzzah!
Drive that spans 55 yards on 7 plays, capped off by a 10-yard touchdown run by Jordan Thomas, his 11th rushing touchdown of the season. The extra point by Gomez has given the Klein Collins Tigers a 20-10 lead as they prepare to give Atascocita the ball for the first time here in the second half.
Yeah, for Collins, that's exactly what they need to do. You know, keep possession of that football and don't let Atascocita touch it very often.
That kick goes out of bounds, illegal procedure.
Can't do that. That's kickoff 101 there. I know you want to pin them down there in that corner, but you got to be more careful than that. You're just giving them a ton of free yards.
Well, the Eagles force Gomez to re-kick 5 yards back or take the penalty yardage and start on their own 30. And I think they're going to make them re-kick.
Wow. Well, and the thing with that is they're not kicking it deep anyways, and you're just going to pooch it. And if you're just going to pooch kick it anyways, you're going to catch it on around the 30-yard line. So that's going to be the worst you're going to get, unless you fumble it back to them again.
Yeah. Well, from an Atascocita standpoint, get all the turnovers out tonight, because if you turn it over against Lufkin, and I know Lufkin, and you know, and their when you talk about their standards, they had a down year. This is a down year for Lufkin. Now they played some top-notch teams that gave them a losing record at a point in this season. You cough the ball over against a Panther team like that, it's going to be curtains real quick. Gomez from the 35 now. Edwards will get a chance, driven back to the 6. And he has the turf monster come up and trip him at the 25.
He just started running too fast for his own good there.
So because of the re-kick, Atascocita will actually lose 5 yards.
It was those neon shoes, that's what it was.
Atascocita, part of 5 different high schools in the Humble Independent School District, with Humble, Kingwood, Summer Creek, And Kingwood Park.
I don't know if you saw this on the UIL Snapshot Day. Summer Creek's going to be 5A next year, and they are going to be a load.
Greg Campbell, quick pass, left side to Trey Hamilton. Hamilton chopped down by Jordan Thomas at the 31.
Yeah, Summer Creek has an opportunity to win the state title this year in 4A. They are that good. And then talking about UIL Snapshot Day, it's going to be weird for me. I was talking to a coaching buddy. It's going to be weird to say 6A football in Texas starting next year.
2nd down and 5. Campbell on a keeper, and he's got room up the middle across the 50-yard line. Tackled by Thomas at the Tiger 41. 28 yards.
Just a simple play there. Little zone read. It just busted wide open. Nobody anywhere near the ball carrier, Campbell. Watch it again here. No, in fact, it was just a draw. There was nobody even back there with him.
93 yards on 12 carries for Greg Campbell. And a pump fake. Campbell sees room on the right side and will run out of bounds, being tracked by Donald Okoye, senior outside linebacker. Out of bounds at the 39, a pickup of 2.
Hey, that was a smart play. You know, it kind of looks like he kind of wimped out there at the end, but very smart play. Campbell understands how important he is to this ball club in the playoffs, and it is just not worth getting hurt once you're that close to the sidelines. Give up a couple of yards, that's fine. Get out of bounds and stay healthy, young man.
20-10, Klein Collins, 2nd down and 8 for the Eagles. Handoff, Jamarcus Jones. Jones bottled up in the interior line, stopped at the 38-yard line. Jones just 10 yards on 10 carries.
Wow.
And Atascocita faced with 3rd down and a long 6. They were 3 for 7 on 3rd down conversion attempts back in the first 24 minutes.
Got to get that fixed.
Campbell on the play fake. Pressure comes. He escapes one, but he can't escape a second Tiger. Down he goes, back at the 43 with a flag down.
And where that flag was thrown, there was no other offensive player besides Campbell.
Josh Fry with the sack as it stands right now.
I mean, it's in the area of a holding, but oh, okay.
Donald Okoye called for the face mask, as we can hear over the loudspeaker through the microphone of the referee, Duffy Mapes.
Boy, you have them surrounded. I didn't even see the face mask.
I didn't see the face mask either.
Wow.
But it breathes new life into this drive for Atascocita.
The old phantom face mask go.
And that's something new that the UIL and the Referee Association of Texas Association of Sports Officials did this year, was announcing the number of the player who committed the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they didn't do that on the loudspeaker for a while, but everyone knows who commits the foul anyways.
Campbell over the middle and is caught by Stump for the Atascocita touchdown. 22 yards out, and Taylor Stump with his 13th touchdown grab of 2013.
He's real good at catching the football. This Stump kid just finds the zone. Finally, you knew it was just a matter of time before. And the coverage was somewhat there, but on that little skinny post route, you have the inside positioning, then it's all over with a receiver like Stump and his ability.
Cotton for the point after. And he nails it. 6:14 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Atascocita climbs within 3 of Klein Collins here on the Legacy Sports Network.
I think I have the window seat.
You better double check that, my friend.
Don't think we don't know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Aaron Rodgers.
No, that's not it. You're that State Farm discount double check guy.
Discount double check. Thanks to the hundreds you saved us, we could upgrade the grill class.
Grill class?
Your tongs are in your seat back.
Save with the discount double check today. Get to a better state. State Farm.
If I get pneumonia,
Break my arm.
need to know if my pain is something more.
I know I can trust Neighbors Emergency Center to save me.
They save my time.
They'll save me from missing the championship.
They'll save me from missing my meeting.
They'll save me from missing the chance to walk her down the aisle someday.
They save me. He saves me.
You saved me.
Neighbors Emergency Center saves lives.
Neighbors Emergency Center. Care that counts. Experience that matters.
"75-yard drive, 7 plays. The capper, a 22-yard touchdown pass. Greg Campbell's second of the night, with the first to Taylor Stump. Extra point was good. It is 20-17 Klein Collins. And on the pooch kick, here come the Tigers. And Miles White ends up running into Kevin Farmer, impeding his progress. And the Tigers will begin from their own 34-yard line.
Yep, if you're not going to score points here, you've got to avoid a 3-and-out here. That's pretty much a must for the Tigers right here. You cannot give the football back on a quick 3-and-out. Well, you see the Collins crew getting rowdy over there. They know it's their last time out too.
First down and 10 for Grady Rupp and the Tigers. Jordan Thomas is set in the backfield. Personnel late coming on the field. That's Zuriel Kirkwood. Cameron Green splits out to the top of your screen. Rupp. Pocket collapses. He will throw on the run, complete to Cameron Green. First down at the 46-yard line, 12 yards on the hookup.
Yeah, they faked the little screen, wanted to find somebody going deep, but Atascocita defensive backs were all over that. But since they were so well defended and so far back, almost in a nickel-type defense, that allowed Rupp a lot of room to run around.
4 straight completions for Rupp. 87 yards and a touchdown for the senior quarterback. 7 for 11 passing, and on first down, fake on the jet sweep and a handoff. Pratt, he goes absolutely nowhere. Runs right into number 55 for Atascocita, and James Wade makes the tackle.
Yeah, that defensive front four playing a lot better now that this game has moved on. Struggled a little bit at first, but playing pretty solidly now in this 4-3 defense.
Klein Collins came in averaging over 335 yards of offense this season in their 9 games. Thomas in a slot right. On the delay, it's Javon Richardson finds a quick little seam. He's tripped up by Jay Edwards at the Atascocita 47-yard line.
And once again, it was the wraparound draw. That always seems to work. You watch it here, Rupp faking like he's going to roll out to the right. I think he showed a little bit too much the ball right there on the handoff, but kind of want to hide that a little bit more. And that play is even more effective than it was already. Could be.
Inside 4.5 to play in the third quarter. 20-17 Tigers. 3rd down and 3. They'll scrimmage from Atascocita's 47-yard line. Quick pass complete, and Thomas is buried back in his own half of the field.
Yeah, the fullback there just made a poor effort. That was Mitchell Brown. Let's watch this one again. You see 47 coming in motion. He's got to block that man right there, touches him, doesn't block him whatsoever, and he's all over Jordan Thomas. You make that block, and then JT can make something happen, but you can't put up an effort like that on a block.
That brings up 4th down, and a bad snap. Having trouble handling the snap was Colin Lester, and Atascocita gobble him up back inside the 35. Loss of 16, a turnover on downs, and Atascocita with a chance to take the lead as we have a fallen Tiger laying on the field.
Poor snaps. We've seen both teams do it this late in the season. No excuse for it. Got to make good snaps.
They'll tend to the injured player. And so when we talk about some of the other playoffs, it's right around the corner. I think a lot of people are going to think of the Katy Tigers as one of, if not the odds-on favorite in Division II.
There's no way they get beat. Of course, you can say that every year, but I don't see any way they get beat until the state semifinals. It's just not going to happen.
It's pretty much a foregone conclusion that at least they go 3 rounds deep. And
Yeah.
it's rare that they would be eliminated like they were a couple of years ago by LaPorte.
Yeah, that was
in the
that was a shock.
semifinals.
Yeah, I don't see that happening again. This team is pretty good here, and they've done it for a few games without Rodney Anderson.
They came back last week in the 40-7 victory over Cinco Ranch.
They're deep at all positions. It's unbelievable. Quarterback.
Yeah, with Huddleston, if he's not healthy, they've got Garrett Doron.
It's crazy.
It just continues to go on. And Gary Joseph, of course, is to be commended for being able to harness all that talent into a winning tradition that's been handed to him by Mike Johnston.
Absolutely, and a little bit factors in with the weakness of Region 3. You know, they don't have to play tough opponents every single week of the playoffs in and out. They get a couple of teams that are not so great, you know, kind of mixed in there where some of these Region 2 teams from the Houston area, one, have to travel, and then two, you know, you might have to go play a team like DeSoto. You know, there are no DeSotos in Region 3.
Who can give a run in Region 3? Could it be Manville if they're Division 2? I think Manville is a Division 2 team.
Wow.
They could have played them in the championship had Manville not lost to Cy Ranch, who ended up having 70-plus put on them by Katy in the Region 3 championship a year ago.
Yeah, that Cy Ranch Manville game was just strange. Keith Ford just kind of took over there, and he was a one-man wrecking crew for Ranch, and he's actually playing a little bit for Oklahoma right now, so he's a stud running back. Yeah, Manville this year, you know the score they put up against Pearland, that was shocking.
And considering the last that I saw them was against North Shore, and North Shore came back to beat them, that wasn't the prettiest game. I mean, the execution in that game left a lot to be desired. Of course, that was just the second game of the season.
Yeah, they could have won that game. Yeah.
And I'm not sure if they still do the alternating quarterbacks. I know Stephon Kahn is one of them. The second quarterback escapes me. He's the sophomore who I think in the second half of that North Shore game that we saw was the primary quarterback in the second half. As the injured Tiger is off the field and then resume play.
Don't count out Houston Lamar. They just keep rolling along.
And they were only at the state championship game a season ago, lost to Allen. And here's Campbell taking it himself out of bounds at the 25, scampering for 8 yards, forced out on the play by the combination of Christian Snow and Casey Massey.
Boy, you know, it's the 4th or 5th time Campbell has done this. He gets just enough to either get that first down or put yourself in a great situation. You know, now because of his legs and his ability to run, it's 2nd and short instead of 1st and 10 or 2nd and 10.
He's over the 100-yard mark on 14 carries. Now he throws this side of the field, caught by Richardson in front of Jordan Thomas. At the Tiger 9-yard line, 18 yards on the pass play.
Great job to underthrow that football and lead his receiver back away from Jordan Thomas in the coverage. Thomas was out in front of him. It was well covered. It looked like a duck there, but he underthrew it on purpose. Great job by Campbell.
8th play of the drive, 1st and goal from the 9, handoff Jamarcus Jones off tackle right. Jones muscling himself down to the 5 or a pickup of 4.
Yeah, they're continuing to try to run that football. They're trying to get it going eventually here.
4 receivers in the lineup, and Jones off the right shoulder of Greg Campbell. The Eagles trying to take the lead. Campbell will improvise to the end zone, touchdown. Untouched for 5 yards, Atascocita have the lead.
Once again, Greg Campbell doing it with his arm and then doing it with his feet right here. You see he reading through his progressions there, not open, covered, take off, run for the touchdown. It didn't even look like he was sprinting either. He just kind of jogged that one in.
Campbell's 12th touchdown of the season, and the extra point, should it be good, will give the Eagles a 4-point advantage. And Cotton drills it. That stops the clock with 2:42. After that touchdown, 2:42 on the clock, remaining in the third.
Third quarter moving along pretty quickly here. After that long Klein Collins drive, Atascocita answers.
5-yard touchdown run caps off a 10-play, 75-yard drive, and the extra point makes it 24-20 Eagles. After the botched punt by Klein Collins gave the Eagles great field position, they cash in and take the lead.
Yep, now let's see how the Tigers respond to that game.
How about this matchup, potential matchup between Cy-Fair and Lamar?
I like Cy-Fair a lot. I do. I really like the quarterback play of Lamar. I think
and this
think
is
that
it for
leadership.
Colbert, right? He's
yes.
a senior.
Yes. I think he's pretty special.
I remember him 3 years ago in a win over Cy Falls at Tully Stadium. I believe he might have even, I think he was a sophomore. He had to have been a sophomore. I don't think he was playing as a freshman.
Speaking of Cy Falls, I don't know what happened to Cy Falls this year. They are struggling.
First time in a long time that the Golden Eagles won't make the playoffs. A bobbled kickoff fielding job there. A little bobbled, but nonetheless, no harm, no foul. Covering up for Klein Collins was Miles White. And the Tigers will begin from the 31-yard line in their own territory.
35-23 now with 8:19 in the third quarter. So Kingwood got a safety. But Spring still leads it.
And you know, David Smith and the Klein Oak Panthers, probably some of the players are at that game, knowing now what's at stake should Spring upset Kingwood. Not a good run to start things, a loss of 1 on the play.
Actually texting with one of the assistant coaches from Oak right now, and he didn't even know the score. Because they're over there, coaching their JV game because their varsity plays tomorrow. So they're in the middle of a ball game right now. They have no clue.
Pratt on the run and -1. Second down and 11. Tigers will scrimmage from their own 30-yard line. Shotgun for Rupp. Option and a pitch out. Here's Pratt turning the corner, forced out of bounds. Vincent Wade tracking him on defense. Gain of 3, it'll be 3rd down and 7.
I would expect Rupp to roll out to the wide side of the field here.
Tigers are 2 for 9 on 3rd down conversions. They need the 41-yard line.
Surprised in this spot that Watts and Thomas aren't in the ball game.
Rupp rolls to the left. Jay called it. Looking for an open receiver, and he's not going to be able to find one. He has to tuck and run. Forced out of bounds by Mike Jones, short of the first down. The punt team will be forced to come out for Klein Collins.
I know you got to get them rest, but that's when you want the playmakers in the game on those 3rd and longs. I mean, save them on 1st and 2nd. You got to have them in there on those 3rds.
Now the last punt for Klein Collins never got off. And a new punter is in the game. That's Jonathan Self.
Good snap that time.
And a great punt. Nowhere near Edwards, and it takes a Tiger bounce. That is the 3rd punt, whether it's from Lester or Self, that goes inside the 10-yard line. That is a 57-yard punt. And Atascocita have some yards to gain if they want to continue to build upon their lead. They'll start on their own 9. 1:41 remaining. Follow us on Twitter @LegacySportsNet and check us out on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/LegacySportsNetwork. And of course, first round playoff schedule will be posted on our website at LegacySportsNetwork.com over the weekend. So be sure to be on the lookout for that.
Speaking of Lufkin, and they're playing Atascocita, their number right now is below Highland Park. And Highland Park is always that borderline 5A, 4A number. So Lufkin could be a 4A next year.
I can only imagine how powerful they would be as a 4A program. Demarcus Jones carries for 2 yards to the 11.
Now they're already a very competitive 5A team. You drop them down and they can do some damage.
What's good? What's the board? What's the number to be considered 6A?
It's that Highland Park. They're always the 4A, which will now be 5A,
right?
And 5A will now be 6A.
Okay, so it's just a natural progression. So they don't have
6-man. 6-man is now called 1A. Okay. It's usually around 2,100.
Never mind. Okay, all right. Well, I'm pretty sure broadcasters like ourselves will be caught a couple of times at least saying 5A instead of 6A. Here's a screen on the inside bubble. Taylor stump over the 15 to about the 18-yard line, short of the first down, as we are inside the final 45 seconds of the third quarter.
You know, most years there's a couple of teams here and there that you think could win it, but this year there are just so many good football teams across the state, and I'm really excited for the playoffs to get started and see who's going to come out on top. A lot of teams could win it.
Timeout taken. Atascocita spins their first timeout of the second half. North Shore's another team that could make a run, but they're another one of those teams similar to how we were talking about Westfield, is no matter how good they are in the regular season, somewhere in the playoffs they seem to stub their toe.
Yeah, and it's usually caused by them, you know, just mental mistakes and not just them flat out getting beat by a better team.
And this year was interesting from a quarterback standpoint because David Amon, for the first time since I've seen North Shore football, he was alternating quarterbacks play for play with McCardle and Long.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit strange. I think Round Rock Stony Point did that pretty well a few years back, but not very often.
And Sharp.
Yeah,
I remember those two.
Yeah.
So after the timeout, 3rd down and a yard for Atascocita from their own 18. Jones motions out of the backfield, design run, and Campbell gets the first down, but just barely, and he took a pretty stiff shot as well.
Yeah,
he's slow getting up.
Yeah, I think he got cut off at the knees by Watts. It was a great tackle, but oh boy, that has got to be scary for those Atascocita fans and Coach Stump. Let's hope that he's not injured.
Well, you play to win the game, and that's what Coach Stump said to us, and this isn't the NFL.
You play to win the game.
Will they run another play? They sure will. And Campbell will throw, complete, and that is Sharp. Taylor Sharp across the 40 to the 43.
Oh,
now
boy.
There's some extracurricular activities after the play was whistled dead. Flags are flying. Bodies going everywhere. A little bit of a scrum.
Yeah, it looked like Lacey got caught up with the receiver there. They were fighting back and forth as he was trying to block Lacey.
5 catches for Stump, 80 yards. That's 5 straight completions for Greg Campbell.
Just watch Campbell just stand in there and throw a perfect strike to his receiver. Nice tightrope job there down the sidelines to pick up a couple extra yards by Stump.
And a personal foul called only on Klein Collins. We've completed 3 here at Klein Memorial Stadium. It's the Atascocita Eagles 24, the Klein Collins Tigers 20. 4th quarter comes your way next.
If I get pneumonia,
Break my arm.
need to know if my pain is something more.
I know I can trust Neighbors Emergency Center to save me.
They save my time.
They'll save me from missing the championship.
They'll save me from missing my meeting.
They'll save me from missing the chance to walk her down the aisle someday.
They save me. He saves me.
You saved me.
Neighbors Emergency Center saves lives.
Neighbors Emergency Center. Care that counts. Experience that matters.
Back for the fourth and final quarter from Klein Memorial Stadium. It is 24-20, Eagles on top. Elsewhere this week, we've been keeping tabs on Kingwood and Spring at Turner Stadium in Humble. We'll give you another update as soon as we get it. Westfield gets to Caney tomorrow, and Klein Oak will battle Klein Forest, and there you see the score from Turner Stadium in the third quarter. Spring on top by 12. Remember, if Kingwood do lose tonight and Klein Oak defeat just a one-win team in district play in Klein Forest, it will be David Smith's team headed to the playoffs, while Dougal McDougal's team will sit at home.
And guess who that one team was that Klein Forest beat? Spring. The team that's beaten Kingwood now. Kingwood could end up on a 4-game losing streak to start off 6-0 and then drop your next 4. Wow.
1st and 10, the Eagles moving from left to right, a low snap. And Greg Campbell just falls on the loose ball, losing 5.
Yeah, smart play. So often you see guys try to scoop and try to end up running with the ball, and their eyes are downfield and they can't even scoop it up correctly, and it causes more problems.
2nd down and 14. Campbell makes one man miss and is tackled from behind. Clock will continue to move. The tackle made by Okoye, a run down to the 35-yard line, 10 yards for Campbell. He has 113 on 18 rushes.
Boy, he made Christian Snow buckle his knee right there. Just made Snow come out of the ball game on that one. Great move.
4-point lead for the Eagles. This is the final game of the year for Klein Collins. Atascocita to move on. Play Lufkin next Saturday afternoon at 2 at Moorhead Stadium. Campbell slings it over the middle. Inaccurate, a little too far in front of the intended J.J. Gibson. 4th down.
You know, talking about all that 5A, 6A talk, I really can't wait until UIL announces the new districts. I think there's going to be a lot of changes this year. Districts are going to get all shifted around.
Well, you spend a lot of time in 13-5A. Do you see the landscape changing in this district?
Absolutely. I think Kingwood and Atascocita will be out, and then who knows from there.
4th down. Campbell and company will go for it. Wide open in the flats, complete. And breaking tackles, Quan Shorts, touchdown. 35 yards on 4th down. Atascocita are now out in front by 10.
Wow, just split 2 guys. You have got to make a tackle right there. Watch it one more time. Campbell rolls out to his left, finds the open receiver. Not a great looking throw right there, but hey, it went to him. 2 missed tackles. You've got to wrap up and bring that guy down. There you see swinging gate. Klein Collins defense aligns properly.
Campbell's 3rd touchdown pass of the night. 2nd to Shorts. The extra point is good. 10:29 left here at Klein Memorial Stadium. Atascocita now leads by 11, 31-20 over Klein Collins.
Time waits for no one. And those who look only to their past are rarely ready for their future. Never underestimate our ability, because after all, we are Texans.
Nine plays, spanning 91 yards. 35-yard touchdown pass. Greg Campbell to Quan Shorts on 4th down, goes 35 yards. Atascocita now with an 11-point advantage over Klein Collins, 31-20. With Jay Darneal and our crew, Michael Silvers with you. Delighted to have you along for the ride on this final weekend of the regular season. Getting it started off with a 13-5A contest. Cotton for the pooch kick for Atascocita. It's going to bounce and be collected by Farmer. Farmer finds a seam, has one man to beat. Kevin Farmer down the sideline. He will take it to the house.
I told you Kevin Farmer is an elite kickoff return man, and he showed you right there. There is a flag down at the 40-yard line. Oh no, that's the tee, never mind. I'm seeing things.
Apparently our production crew saw one as well.
It was like the NFL that week they used the pink flags. You didn't know if it was a towel or a flag.
Right.
That only lasted 1 week.
We'll get a look at that replay after the extra point, but first it looks like we're going to have a timeout, so maybe a chance to take a look at Kevin Farmer after the bobble. That's going to go 76 yards for the Tiger touchdown.
And every time you see a return man bobble a ball just one time and then pick it up smoothly, it's always a good return. Well, I'm not going to say always. Most likely it's going to be a good return because it's kind of like out-kicking your coverage. It just gives them so much more room. Those guys are further down the field. You have to make less people miss, and then once you get by that first wave, you're most likely gone.
And he made only one cut.
Yeah.
And he was gone.
Yeah, it was just that first initial wave of about 9 guys. Then once he got by that, he just had the kicker. Like you said, just one little cut, you get the kicker down.
76-yard kickoff return by Kevin Farmer. And that's quite the answer. After the 91-yard touchdown drive and the 35-yard touchdown pass from Campbell to Shorts on 4th down, they're going to go for 2. Rupp over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, flag on the play. It's going to be pass interference.
Pass intended for the touchdown. Yeah, for Kevin Farmer, the youngster who ran that touchdown back on the kickoff.
Trying to go right back to him there. And I think it's a good play. You know, you're in the 4th quarter and you want to make it a 3-point game. I think it's a smart choice to go for 2 here. I think that's what the book would say.
Coverage by Ramsey Thunder. How about that name?
I like it.
Ramsey Thunder. So they'll go for 2 and use a flex bone, and it's Rupp on the keeper over right guard for the 2-point conversion. So Klein Collins have climbed to within 3. Off the 76-yard kickoff return, sometimes it doesn't pay to pooch the ball up in the air.
That's right.
Timeout. 3-point deficit for the Tigers.
Fans, I see a Raising Cane's tailgate in your sights. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you have it in you to tackle that tailgate. To devour enough fresh, never-ever frozen chicken fingers and cane sauce to make tailgate history. Show thirst who's boss with sweet tea and lemonade. Not by the cup, but by the jug. Because this is our house. And today, you eat with the best of them. Raising Cane's, one love. Official sponsor of all things that make game day delicious.
.15 left to play in tonight's game from Klein Memorial Stadium in Spring. Tonight's game is a production of the Legacy Sports Network and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Legacy Sports Network is strictly prohibited. This game is being produced by Scott Sullivan, directed by Matt Broussard, our technical crew, Jeff Slahetka, Jake Craig, and Jarrett Gilliam, and the executive producer of the Legacy Sports Network is Jim Barton. Gomez will kick it off for the Tigers as they trail by 3. I wonder if we'll see maybe a onside. Nope, just a pooch kick. And it's dropped.
They got
Loose
it again.
ball.
Oh,
Atascocita was able to fall on it. Pooch kicks. Oh, gotta love him. Mike Hughes almost coughed it up, but he was able to save his position out there on the kickoff return team.
Well, hey, if I'm Lufkin, why in the world would I ever kick it deep next week? You know, you're going to see pooch kicks every single time again next week.
And I'm sure there's representation from the Lufkin Panthers on the other side of the stadium in the visitors' press box scouting this one.
And I'm sure Coach Stump will go over the pooch kick receiving at least 15 minutes every single day.
Atascocita will start from their own 28. Campbell fires, and it's complete. And once again, Hamilton with his 6th catch of the game.
Boy, he went up and got that one. Great catch.
But only for 3 yards. He has 6 receptions for 64 yards. Campbell is 18 of 22 for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns with an interception. 2nd down and 7. Campbell under pressure, down he goes. Ernest Watts on a linebacker blitz brings down this senior back at the 26.
I tell you what, Ernest Watts has played a terrific game defensively. This kid's been playing offense the entire time and comes over here and is just making play after play defensively. And remember, he's only a sophomore. He looks good.
We have Javon Richardson as a sophomore who plays behind Justin Pratt. So if Watts gets inserted in the offseason back into the offense, you have Richardson and Watts as running backs. Pass up the seam off the fingertips of Jamarcus Jones. Coverage by Isaiah Santos. And now it's 4th down, so I think the Eagles will be best served to give it back to Klein Collins. That's what they're
I think
gonna
it
do.
was a little bit of alligator arms here. Let's check. Yeah, Santos really wasn't near him. Close enough to make a big-time hit at least, but he didn't know that.
First punt of the night for Taylor Stump. Bounces at the 40 and takes an Atascocita bounce.
Well, not a bad kick at all by
to
Stump.
the 33. 41 yards on Stump's first effort of the night. Klein Collins will begin on their own 33 with a chance to either tie or take the lead.
You got to get away from that football there. I think it was Lacey. I couldn't tell 32 or 33, but get away from the football. You're way too close. If it takes a weird hop or something or even comes close to touching you, you don't want to give those umpires even a chance of saying you touched it.
4 receivers in the lineup. Green in motion. Rupp on the play action. Forced to scramble to his right, throws it away. Smart move. Rupp 8 of 13, 84 yards, and a touchdown.
Not bad, managing the game fairly well at this point, but just not enough offense. If you're going to have a game manager at quarterback, then you've got to have somebody at the running back position that's going to kill it and make special plays, and they're not having that right now. They have 28 points, but offensively they have not looked spectacular.
Green in motion yet again. Handoff. Ooh, big hit. Pratt was drilled by Colton Hutchinson, middle linebacker, senior for Atascocita, after a 2-yard carry.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of just one-on-one big-time hits. And now it looks like one of the Atascocita defenders, defensive linemen, are down.
You said 2 words, game manager. Now, I've never heard that until Jim Harbaugh became the head coach of my favorite NFL team, the San Francisco 49ers, and had Alex Smith as his quarterback. I don't know if I've heard it any more than when he was the quarterback 2 years ago.
Trent Dilfer.
Was it Trent Dilfer? I know he was the one against Baltimore, but that was over a decade before.
Yeah, it was a while back, but he is the perfect example of a game manager at the quarterback position. He's not going to beat you with his arm, but he doesn't turn the football over.
And if Alex Smith resembles the game manager remark, so be it. He's 9-0.
Yeah, yeah.
Who cares how you get it done? It's just that you got it done.
Well, if they didn't have Jamal Charles, then he wouldn't be considered a game manager. He'd be considered a bad quarterback because they'd be 0-9 probably. But they do have Jamal Charles, who, by the way, is from Texas. And also a little NFL note, I want to say a third, maybe it's a quarter, but I want to say it was a third of the NFL teams starting quarterbacks are from the state of Texas.
Okay, let's start naming them. We know Matt Stafford is one. Well, he's not a starting quarterback. I'd say Colt McCoy. But
I'm gonna have to. You gotta give me a second here. Let me pull up teams and I can tell you.
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill. Yep. Case Keenum from Abilene Wiley. RG3.
That's right. Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton. Yep.
The injured Eagle is Josh Holmes.
Christian Ponder.
Okay.
From Colleyville Heritage. Drew Brees from Austin Westlake. Nick Foles.
Right. He's from Westlake as well.
Andrew Luck. Can't believe we missed him.
No, he's just from down the street, really. Yeah. And he's had a great sophomore season. You know, you always talk about maybe a sophomore slump after a great first year, but not in the case of Andrew Luck. 3rd down and 8, and Rupp will throw over the middle. It is complete. Jordan Thomas for a first down into Eagle territory. 18 yards on the hookup and a first down on the 3rd down conversion.
Cam Newton played college ball in Texas at Blinn. Does that count?
Was that before or after he was let go of his first college?
After.
9th first down for the Tigers, and they are in Eagle territory with 1st down and 10 on the 47. Thomas in motion, and on the jet sweep, he turns the corner and runs right into Colton Hutchinson. 1 yard they'll give Thomas on that run. Inside the final 7.5 here at Klein Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, although this game means nothing playoff-wise to Klein Collins, you can just tell by watching them. It means something to them.
It's what you call leaving it all out in the field. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it, because for a lot of these youngsters, this is it.
Yep.
Thomas in motion again on the play fake. Rupp in trouble, and down he goes. Fumble. He lost the football on the sack by Joseph Salazar, but the Tigers were able to pounce on it. At least I think they were.
Yeah, the officials holding up 3 fingers saying it's 3rd down, and boy, Rupp took a shot right in the back right there.
That's a loss of 10. And another 3rd down facing Klein Collins.
There it is there. Boy, Utsi just missed the block again. This guy got underneath him there, beat him to the corner. And Rupp paid for it.
3rd down, and Rupp's in trouble again, and Salazar gets him again.
Same play. Beat him to the edge, got underneath him, hit Rupp in the back. Got to block better than that up front. Big, strong kid, too. Has a lot of potential.
7 yards lost. 4th down and forever for Klein Collins. winding down to 5:40 left here at Klein Memorial Stadium. Running down on the Klein Collins Tigers 2013 campaign.
Now you've got to punt it away here, no question. But boy, you can give up a field goal, but if you give up a touchdown, it's over.
Out of bounds at the Atascocita 31.
Then Kingwood scored another touchdown, made it 35-30, and then they just scored again, and they have now taken the lead 36-35 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Sorry, Panther fans.
Well, it's not over yet. They can still hope Spring gets another crack at it on offense. That was a 32-yard punt. And Atascocita now will scrimmage from their own 31. Maybe even further back. Chains look to be a little confused on the other side of the field. Now oh, no, they are going to move him back. I think might have had a penalty. Drops him back 15 yards. So Atascocita will actually start this drive on their own 16. Shotgun with split backs, 3 receivers employed. Handoff to Jones. Tries to turn the corner, is forced to cut it inside by the Tiger outside defense. A loss of 1, back to the 15. Jones only 15 yards on 13 carries tonight.
Wow. That's a little shocking because although Atascocita throws the ball extremely well, they were fairly balanced, but not tonight.
Campbell will throw, and to his favorite target tonight, Trey Hamilton to the 23. 8 yards on the reception.
Kingwood goes for the 2-point conversion and gets it, so 38-35 they lead that one now.
Upcoming the 12th third down for Atascocita. They have converted on only 3 previous. Campbell with a quick strike and is complete. The shorts down the sideline, forced out of bounds by Jordan Thomas.
That baffles me. There's so much room out there. I don't understand. As a corner, you cannot let that receiver block you that well and push you that far back. You've got to get off that block and get into that slot man's face. It's just a simple little bubble screen.
That was the 18th first down achieved by Atascocita on the play fake. A run, and Campbell slides down. Tried to slide, he picks up 8. Brought down by Donald Okoye.
Now, I know you want to win the game, but boy, every time Campbell rolls out left or right, I'm scared for him. Because these Klein Collins defenders hit hard, and that would be the worst thing in the world for you to get an injury right now when this game means absolutely nothing.
3:45 left tonight in a 31-28 affair between Atascocita and Klein Collins. On the option, calling his own number, Campbell swallowed up by Casey Massey, but the spot should be good enough for an Atascocita first down.
Yeah, and Klein Collins with 2 timeouts left. Now looks like they're gonna measure it now.
Campbell responsible for all 4 Atascocita touchdowns. 3 in the air, 1 on his feet. 118 yards rushing and a touchdown. He has thrown for 286 yards and 3 scores.
You see in the, let's see what it is. Yep, by half a football first down. If we get some video on the middle, yeah, right there, where you see Klein ISD, it's kind of in that yellow, and you notice that's the only color on the entire field is that yellow with Klein ISD, because every school has some type of yellow in it. Klein Forest, the gold, green and gold. Klein has the blue and yellow. Klein Oak, black and gold, or black and yellow. And Klein Collins, they kind of moved it. It's a little Vegas gold, but it's a form of yellow.
Yeah, it's a shade. It's in the family.
Yeah.
1st and 10. Handoff, Patrick Taylor. Nope, that isn't Patrick. That's Jay Edwards. Edwards had coughed the ball up earlier in the game, and he takes it in the Tiger territory from the 44 to the 42.
They desperately needed a run like that, even though it's only one run. That was a big, big play for their confidence in their running game and their blocking up front. Tell you what, one more first down and this ball game could be over.
A win by Atascocita would improve them to 9-1 overall and 7-1 in district play. Their only blemish coming at the hands of Westfield. That was in their 4th game of the season. Here's Edwards again with another Eagle first down on an 11-yard run. Takes it down to the Tiger 31.
2 straight great running plays, and honestly the only 2 of the entire night besides Campbell, rolling out or running a quarterback draw. 2 great plays right in a row. Looks like they close to field goal range already, which Klein Collins could give up a field goal and still win the ball game here, but you got to get a stop right now.
Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Edwards in motion now, the backfield, a turn by Campbell and a handoff to Jones. 1 yard to the 29. Brought down on the play by junior linebacker Justin Gill.
I think you hold them to 1 or 2 yards again right here and then call that timeout.
And if there's any example that we could tell you about right now in terms of if you miss your quarterback, you're missing a lot, and that's what's happening to Oregon right now. They're losing to Stanford 17-0. And Campbell escaping, and he'll be brought down from behind and sacked back at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, they're
talking
about it right now. Should we call a timeout or not? Yep, and there they call it. And really, they wasted about 3 or 4 seconds right there. Doesn't seem like a lot, but and yeah, going back to what you were talking about there, you lose your quarterback, and yeah, they have good guys, backing them up, but it's just not the same.
Right. So if Campbell somehow gets hurt, and he's come up hobbling at times. The next in line for Atascocita is a young man by the name of Anthony Large, who has gone 10 of 16 for 118 yards and a touchdown this season. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of playing time, and a lot of the time that he's going to get is mop-up time.
Speaking of backups, who's Oregon's backup?
Not Mariota.
They better find an answer real quick.
Well, if that score holds true or that lead holds up, there goes Oregon's BCS title hopes. Reached the championship game with Darren Thomas, a former Houston area quarterback. Played for Aldine. That's a district that has seen better days in terms of their football product.
Yeah, with the UIL putting nobody good in that district, it's a pretty poor district.
3rd down and long, and Campbell will throw for it. Right side, through the hands of Stump, out of bounds. And Klein Collins gets helped out by the incomplete pass, which stops the clock, forces them to allows them to keep a timeout in their pocket.
Yeah, that's big. No question. Now they have the ability to throw the ball down the field in the middle. And, of course, in high school, the clock is going to stop also once you get a first down. That's going to help them a lot as well.
Atascocita have turned the ball over once on downs. They've also converted on a 4th down. They've also scored on a 4th down. 4th down and 14. A minute 30 remaining in Klein. 3-point edge for the Eagles. Campbell rolls out left and will run for it and be well short. Second time the Eagles turn it over on downs. Jordan Thomas there to lay the lumber on Campbell, and Atascocita will give Klein Collins one last chance.
I think that was a good move by Coach Stump to go for it right there. Probably not a terrific decision by Campbell to try to run it in when you need that many yards, but you got to throw the ball down the field there. But I think it was a smart play to go for it. You know, near your Klein Collins 30-yard line, if you punt, you're only going to gain, net 10 yards or so anyways. Might as well go for it.
Tigers from their own 33, shotgun for Rupp. Throws it upfield. It is and just in and out of the hands after the contact. Pass
Butler.
intended for Butler. Ramsey Thunder on the coverage.
Oh, yeah, Butler's got to come up with this one here. Not a bad throw by Rupp there. Underthrew it a little bit. Should have led him a little bit more towards the middle of the field.
I beg your pardon, that was Jace Rumsey in on the coverage. 2nd down and 10, 1:18 on the clock.
Boy, that was a big play.
Touchdown can win it for Klein Collins. A field goal could send us to overtime. On 2nd and 10, pressure comes. Rupp can't escape Salazar. That is his 3rd sack. And Rupp is dropped back at the 29, and then there's a flag thrown. That might be called on Salazar, which would give new life to the Tigers.
I think right here in this situation, for these next 2 plays, you've got to put – JT with Jordan Thomas was in the ball game. Boy, I would find a way to get Watson there. I'd find a way to get Kevin Farmer in there. You need a lot of yards, and you only have 2 plays to do. Oh, they're going to have a penalty now.
Penalty on Atascocita for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Wow, and that's
60 yards on 6 penalties called on Craig Stump's team. It advances the ball to the Tiger 44 and gives Klein Collins a 1st down, and they still have a timeout to spare.
And this offensive line just continues to get whipped with the pass rush of the Atascocita Eagles up front, just with their front 4 really. Just dominating the O-line on the outsides. Yeah, you see Farmer and Thomas both up top now. Those are 2 terrific playmakers there.
1st and 10 from the 44. 1:10 on the clock. Rupp under pressure. Salazar got him again.
Boy.
They may have to change who's at right tackle for Klein Collins.
Yeah.
That's a loss of 5. And Rupp will spike it. That brings up 3rd down. And it's peculiar because this has only started to happen late here in the 2nd half. Salazar being able to get around the corner and get it Rupp.
Yeah, you're right. The 1st half they didn't really happen. Of course, Rupp rolled out a lot more though. He's just straight drop back here in the 2nd half, and I think that has helped out the Atascocita 2 defensive ends to get to the quarterback a little bit easier.
3rd down and 14. Shotgun for Rupp. Launches one up the sideline, and it is caught by Green for a 1st down at the Eagle 42.
Cameron Green using his height right there. I talked about it earlier. Running that seam route, his height comes into play, and it certainly did right there as he leaps up and over a couple of Atascocita defenders.
18 yards, clock moving inside 40 seconds. Snap back to Rupp, he throws it up to Green, and Green makes the catch at the 25, takes it down to the 21-yard line.
The exact same play. Atascocita ran the exact same defense. Green sat down in that exact same hole that was wide open.
Clock starts, 30 seconds to go. Shotgun, Rupp. Up the seam, and it is picked off. Intercepted by Hutchinson, and Atascocita will escape Klein Memorial Stadium with a 31-28 victory as we take another look at the final play.
Watch this, the tailback seam route was wide open if he just led him towards the end zone. He underthrew it where the coverage was.
And you wonder if Rupp wanted to get rid of that ball because he was afraid that Salazar was right around. Even if he wasn't that close, he's been hit by Salazar a few times here in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
But nonetheless,
as a quarterback, you've got to step up and make that throw when you know you're going to get hit in the mouth.
Victory for Atascocita. Campbell takes a knee.
Actually, Campbell hadn't even officially taken a knee yet.
Well, even
now
if he does, he can. It's not going to stop.
No,
the
it's
clock's not going to stop. But. All right, so the final score will be the Atascocita Eagles 31 and the Klein Collins Tigers 28. For the first time this season, the Tigers dropped 2 in a row. They will finish up 2013 at 4 wins, 6 losses. Atascocita improves to 9-1. They finish District 13 5A at 7-1 and will now start preparations for the Lufkin Panthers bi-district round of the Division II playoffs next Saturday afternoon at Moorhead Stadium in Conroe. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. Jay, your final thoughts.
Klein Collins gave it a huge effort here. Obviously, Atascocita is a better team. They were 8-1 coming in. Klein Collins made them earn that win number 9 here. And one last quick question to you. How's 13-5A going to fare against 14-5A in those 4 games?
I'll be judicious. 2-2. Let's be fair. All right, well, Jay, I appreciate you filling in tonight. Thanks for stepping up. Really appreciate it.
No
Great
problem.
working with you.
No, it was fun. This was a great game to do, and perfect weather for it, too. Beautiful.
Well, that wraps it up for our regular season coverage here on the Legacy Sports Network. Stay tuned and be sure to check our website, legacysportsnetwork.com, for our upcoming playoff schedule for the bi-district round, which begins next week. For Jay Darneal and our entire crew, glad to have brought it to you. Final score, Atascocita 31, Klein Collins 28. Michael Silver saying so long from Klein Memorial Stadium here in Klein, Texas.